Hi, and welcome to this week's Ask Mike Riley, where you email your questions into us, and we answer them right here on the show. Mike, how we doing today?
Hey, good.
Awesome. My first question is from David in Ocala. He writes, Mike, why do I need a durable power of attorney? Why is this important?
Great question, David. You need a durable power of attorney to assist you when you're unable to make your own financial decisions for yourself. In most cases, if you have a spouse, you're going to nominate your spouse. If you don't, you're going to have one of your children probably step in that role to make your financial decisions. And this could include filing your tax returns, opening a bank account, perhaps even transferring money from a savings to a checking, working with your local broker. So you want to make sure that you have this document in place and it's up to date. You've got the right people serving in the right spot that you want to protect you, because this is really important. As we grow older, sometimes we're not able to take care of our own affairs.
My next question is from Jeff in Tampa. And Mike, he writes, what are the components of an estate plan?
Great question, Jeff. So components of an estate plan, you're either going to have a will or you're going to have a trust. These both are going to give direction to where your assets are going to be transferred at the time that you pass. Along those same lines, while you're alive, an estate plan really protects you first. So you're going to have a durable power of attorney, you're going to have a healthcare surrogate, and you're going to have a living will if your package is complete. And it really should be, because let's take, for example, a healthcare surrogate. What that's going to do is that's going to allow perhaps your spouse to make your healthcare decisions when you can't do that for yourself. And should you have no spouse, you probably are going to have one of your children step in that role. And that way they'll be able to speak to your doctor about your care when you're really not too sure of what should be done or shouldn't be done, perhaps because of your age. I know I do this with my own mother. She's 87 years old. Sometimes she'll go to the doctor and she'll come out of the doctor's office and say, Mike, I know I've got a new prescription, but I'm really not sure what it's for. So I'll contact the doctor's office and they won't speak to me, even if I'm her son. But then I'll explain that I have a healthcare surrogate on file, and they'll review that, and then they'll openly discuss why the doctor's now prescribed a new medication for my mother, and it allows me to better understand what's going on.
Mike, clearly this is super important. And one of the things I want to point out to everyone when they call you is that you don't have to drive all over town to find an attorney. You don't have to figure out this all by yourself. You have great connections, strategic partners that you've been working with for a long time to help everyone out, right?
Yeah, so this really makes things a lot easier on our clients because we work hand in hand with the attorney that creates these legal documents. And from time to time, they need to be adjusted. So we'll get on the phone with the attorney. We'll let them know what we're working with. And if we need to adjust their power of attorney, we'll get that done for them. And if they're already working with an attorney, we'll communicate some of this to their attorney and they can continue to use that attorney.
You know, one of the things I always like to ask you, because we've gotten so many of the thank you emails in, is, hey, Mike, I didn't realize I was missing this piece of the estate plan, or I didn't realize I was missing this piece of it. And you know what I like to point out, and seeing you live so many times, is what you put on your checking or savings account, which is paid upon death. No, there's a name for that. What is it called?
Yeah, payable on death. So a lot of times people do their own estate planning. Husband and wife, perhaps, they have a checking account, joint tenancy with rights of survivorship. And that gives them the ability to both work on that account. Well, we know eventually one will pass away. And when that happens, now we have that lone person on the checking account. And we want to make sure that if something happens to that individual, that account transfers to the beneficiaries directly without having to experience probate. So that's something that we use. It's called payable on death. It's real easy. A lot of times the banks don't tell you about that when you set up the account, and you're probably not thinking about it because you know you have your spouse on the account.
And that would it go into probate after that?
Yeah.
It would. Okay.
Yeah. So what would happen is that asset would then have to be probated. So many times we get a referral. Somebody comes in and says, hey, the bank is asking us for this summary of administration so that we can unlock the value of the account or work off of the checking account. We still have to pay the remainder of mom and dad's bills after they pass. And what we tell them is what they're really asking you to do is go through probate. And that really is unnecessary if you set up your estate properly.
Mike, thanks so much. If you want more information about anything we spoke about here today, hey, give us a call in the office or go to our website.